Welcome back to The Big Show. It's Alex Belfield talking to my favourite people and the country's biggest stars. Bill Tarmey, how are you?
You're talking about my weight now, aren't you?
No, I'm not. You're delicious and everybody knows it.
There must be an awful lot of unsighted people out there.
How are you, Bill? I've watched you all my life, and I love you, and I love what you've done for television. And more than anything, your humour. You're very funny, both in real life and on TV. Congratulations.
I think they call it stupid. Where I live, it's stupid. I'm fine. I'm okay. The breathing's a little bit iffy, and the feet have gone, and well, age is okay. It's all the crap that goes with it.
Why are you still smoking? I just passed you there. If you can't breathe, why are you smoking?
I like it. That's the only thing I can say. I like it. And at my age, then, I stop smoking, I catch everything that's going round, so I may as well carry on doing what I'm doing.
But the thing I worry about is that one day we're going to lose you to it. Is that a price worth paying?
It won't lose me to that. I mean, I was a mastic asphalt spreader from being 15 to 26. You mean that's had nothing to do with it? Laying that stuff for all those years? I think so.
You've had such a fascinating life, and you got this brand new book out, and what a pleasure it is reading your story. Of course, everybody knows you for Jack Duckworth. We're going to talk about that later. But as a kid, you were a personality and funny, a bit different.
Where do you want to start? I was born in Ardwick, moved when I was 9 months old, came, my father got killed in the war. I didn't know an awful lot about it because nobody told me. My mum married again and had some children who I love with all my heart. My brothers and my sisters, and I don't know. I just went to school and sat on my grandma's knee, and she taught me to sing and taught me harmonies, or seconds, as she used to say in the day. I mean, she would sing the song, teach me the song, and then I would sing the song, and she sing the harmonies, and that's how she taught me. So I suppose music's been a part of my life since the word dot. So I went from music to television. Extra work, and from extra work to Jack. Accident.
Let's talk about your dad, because I read about him in the book. Are you angry because everybody deserves to have a dad and you didn't, and it wasn't your fault? How do you feel about that now?
I went to see my father's grave, and cameras came with me, and I said, whatever you do, please don't ask me do that again, because I ain't doing nothing again. And I went with my brother and my cousin Wilf, who I was at school with, was a mate of mine, Wilf Piddington, which is my name, by the way, and Alan Cleworth, which is my dad's name. And we went and found my father's grave, and then we were asked to write something in the book. And the only thing I wrote was, "At last." And I found him.
As growing up as a kid, did you have an image in your head of who you thought your dad was and remembered him that way?
Oh, we used to sit on a kid called Johnny Taylor and myself. I remember sitting on the edgings, playing with the pitch out of the cobbles. And his dad was in the army. And, I mean, this shows you how much I knew. His dad was in the army, and he was going to come back with a tank. My dad was in the Navy, my dad was in the Navy, and he was going to come back with a ship. Now, could you just imagine a ship coming up Butterworth Street? That'd be nice, wouldn't it? A little different. So I think this is why I became a singer, some say actor.
And in terms of people warming to you, more than a singer, you were a character on stage.
I found that if you were just a singer, you got 15 quid. If you put gags in, you got 20 quid. So I learned how to tell a gag. And I listened to people like Doddy. Why that man hasn't been knighted, I really don't know. I cannot understand it. Have you got to write in to get Doddy knighted? Then, well, let's all write in, because any man, he should be. Bob Monkhouse, I worked with Bob Monkhouse once or twice, and he was absolutely brilliant. Now, the press used to have a go at him every now and again because he got upset, but he really did genuinely get upset. He wasn't an idiot. He got upset, but his gags and his memory was fantastic.
Would you like to be remembered as a comedian and as a funny man, or as a singer or an actor?
Somebody who tried. That's about it, I think.
And definitely succeeded.
Well, I tried anyway.
You did your best.
I did my best.
Of course, where you shot to fame was Coronation Street. And how many years were you in it?
Playing this character, 31.
31 years, and of course you built a great chemistry with Jack and Vera, and of course Liz in real life, and you were good friends. Do you think you have to be, or can you hate somebody on set and still make it work on screen?
No, I think that would be very, very difficult. I've never heard of anybody. Well, you do every now and again. Couldn't abide each other and they work together. We couldn't do that, Liz and I. Liz is one of the funniest people I know, and the only person that doesn't know is Liz. I've seen studios fall apart laughing. I mean, really roaring, tears down face, laughing. And she turned to me and said, "What's the matter with them, kid?" And I've not even explained. Just said, "Never mind, sweetheart. We'll carry on doing the scene."
Was it kismet from the beginning? I wasn't around when you first started in terms of watching the show. Did it work from day one?
No, I found it very hard to learn words. So I had to work really, really hard at it. There are some people, actors, that can just pick up a page, scan down the page and do it. I couldn't. I was a duffer. I was a duffer at school. I still have problems with words. I have problems with reading the damn things, never mind remembering them. So it started getting really good when I found the best way for me to learn, that I knew the lines inside out. I knew everybody else's lines inside out. So that's when I started enjoying it.
You make jokes about yourself. Jack was a bit like that. Is that a very clever tactic to make me fall in love with you? Because it works.
Where's the door?
I mean, in a manly kind of way.
Oh, in a manly kind of way, okay. No, it's just the way I am, the way I've always been. Whatever you do, you try. And if you don't succeed, then go to plan C. And if that doesn't, go to plan B. So I used all the plans and finished up with what I got, which was me, the way I am.
I think that's why we fell in love with Jack and Vera, though, the vulnerability of both of them. We all know a Jack and Vera, don't we?
Of course we do. Punch and Judy. That's what it was, Punch and Judy. It was okay. And I think we got away with it because we were both stupid. But one thing that I think the public did recognise was they were deeply in love, but none of them never said it to each other.
And in terms of your music, the one thing we get from it, I mean, there's a great CD that was released a few years ago, and it proved what a great singer you are. Were you born musical? Were you born singing? I mean, you've already told us you loved it, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be any good at it.
Well, a long time ago, before you were born, there was a thing called Skiffle, and we had a band. Good God. We did one gig and got thrown out of a pub. It was absolutely bloody rubbish. But it didn't stop me. At that time, I was able to go into pubs, and there were then musicians, and it'd be a guy on a piano or sometimes a trio. And I chanced my arm once, and it was actually the lads, my mates, went to the trio and said, "Do you mind if he sings?" And I didn't know about this. And they said, "No, as long as he's not, he's all right. Oh, he's great." So they said, "Go on, give a song." And I "Come on, no, go on, give a song." And I think I was only about 16. So I did, and it worked. They knew the song, it was in the right key, I didn't carry music, and I sang the song, and I thought, hey, that wasn't bad, that. I think we'll have some more of that. So I did, and I went to places where there were musicians, and I got to know musicians, and their humour, which is absolutely wonderful. The graveyard humour is for me, is fantastic. It's only musicians do it.
I don't know whether this story is true, but I'm told that Dusty Springfield one night was stood on stage at a club and introduced as, "Could the man who's peeing in the car park please stop it? Here's Dusty Springfield."
Yes, yeah. Well, if you're competing with a bingo, I used to finish a song and they'd all be talking and passing out the bloody tickets and sharpening the pens. They only used pens in those days. And I'd say, "Right, I'm buggering off now. Get all the pens out of me back. Are you sharpening your pens down there, you lot?" So you've got to play the game. You've got to play the game.
And if they're all talking, is the best thing to do a quiet song or a loud song to try and beat them and be louder?
A quiet song. And get quieter till they can't hear you. And they say, "Has he stopped?" "No, I've not stopped. I just wanted to hear what you're all saying. And I've heard the story you're telling him over there about her sat over there." That usually stops them.
I really shouldn't be asking this question, and please don't walk out on me, but were you ever paid off?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry.
No. I did a club once, and they said 2 spots, and I said, "Yeah, okay. You're doing 2 25s." And I said, yeah, okay. And I went on and I did 45 minutes because I was doing gags, And I thought, well, they only want 25 at the end, so no, I ain't going to do 25. I'll do 20, So I went on, did 20 minutes, and then found out from my agent, by the way, you got half your gig stopped. I said, what for? Because you only did 20 minutes. I said, well, I did 45, first half 45. Well, they said you only did 20 minutes at the last spot. And it wasn't worth arguing about. And I just said, tell them to stuff it up their jumper. But don't ever ask me to go there again. Never. And I told all my mates, this club is crap.
So as much as being a great entertainer, you got to be a mathematician.
Of course you have. Yeah, of course you have.
And who were the people who were touring with you at that time and around the time you were on the road? Because there's some great talent come out of the clubs, isn't there?
Oh, Christ, of course there is. Yeah. You've got Bobby and Tommy and Little and Large. There's loads of fine people. But there are also, I found, acts that should have got there, in my humble estimation, that didn't. So I figure it's been in the right place at the right time.
I wonder now, when watching you on the TV, whether that comic timing is because of those days. Working those audience taught you everything you know.
Most likely. I worked with a band called Take 10, and there was 4 singers, 2 girls, 2 boys. One boy one side and one old guy the other side. And I used to do all the mouth work and introduce the songs and throw in gags and things like that. So it comes in very handy. When you get people saying, can you play Temptation? And there's a 12-piece band up there, Yes, is that your own brain and you're breaking it in for an idiot? So these are things that you learn and use as you're going around.
Can you be too mucky and smutty and dirty in a working men's club?
Yes, you can, yeah. I wouldn't do that. I once working at a place in town, and I did the first night, and the management came up the next night and he said, Bill, I'm terribly sorry, you're going to have to cut out the gags. And I said, why? He said, well, they're very suggestive. I said, is there any bad language? No. Is there any innuendo? Well, yes. I said, but doesn't it matter they use their mind in what I've said? It could take 2 or 3 ways. But because they find it that way, is that my fault?
You're just telling stories.
That's right. And actually on that night when I couldn't tell any gags, Alex Higgins got me on the stairs and he said, I just brought a load of people in to see you. I saw you the other night and you're bloody fabulous. And I brought them in, you never told a damn gag. So I said, well, they told me I couldn't tell any gags. Oh, that's stupid. And he went to the management. It didn't make any difference, and he played hell. So yeah, you get those things. You just not got to let it shake you.
How are you? Are you all right? Because you've got to get up in the morning. I know you're talking to people like me about the book, but you're not going into Granada.
I'm still getting up at 5:30 in the morning, and you go and do your toilet, and then you get a coffee and a fag, and then you go and look at your script. Only I've got no script. And you think to yourself, what the hell are you doing up at this time in the morning? So then you get a book, and you read a book. So I'm waiting for all the words in my head that I've already done to go away so I can start, if you want, retirement and see what happens then.
Have people like Liz helped you with this process? Because I can't imagine what it's like being Jack Duckworth off the telly for a huge amount of your life, 30 years, and waking up one morning and realising no more are you Jack Duckworth, the man off the telly.
Liz, bless her, is doing what she wants when she wants to do it. And she goes over to Spain, and she's done more tours on ships than Captain Kidd because she loves it. She loves cruises. So go and do it, So I don't see an awful lot of her, but we talk a lot on the phone.
And in terms of you singing again, I know you've mentioned some of your health difficulties. Is there any way we could perhaps see a tour with you singing and telling stories?
No, I don't think so. The voice has gone, and that was my pride. I always found that like a trumpet, like a flute, like any brass instrument or reed instrument, you had to be able to change your voice from sweet and light to, I mean, you won't even remember this, David Clayton Thomas, Blood, Sweat and Tears, and change your voice. And I used to be able to do that. And then I got into singing nothing but jazz. And in jazz, you've got to be able to use a soft voice and control it. Well, my control went. So I just had to say, well, I'm going to get off the beach before the tide comes in.
Does that hurt you more than losing Jack Duckworth, losing your voice?
Both the same. Both the same, kiddo.
And when you walk down the streets, of course, you may no longer be on the TV, but everybody still remembers Jack and will do forever. Is that still a thrill?
Yeah, of course it is, yeah. I like it when people wave to me. You know, I said something today that I found it quite strange coming out of the paper shop, and kids who used to shout, "Hiya, Jack, how's your Vera?" By the way, the answer to that was always, "Still dead." Still dead. And now they say, "And how's it going, Bill? How, Mr. Tarmey?" So, isn't it strange that it's changed from Jack to Bill? Not everybody, though. I mean, I still get a lot of, "How's it going, Jack?"
You've never seemed as the kind of person that resents being Jack Duckworth or your character or the thing that made you most famous. It does disappoint me when I meet soap stars who do that and try and deny it ever happened. Can you understand why they do that?
No, that's nonsense. Jack Duckworth came into lounges, start off at 2 nights a week, 31 years ago. And now it's, what is it, 5 nights? No, it's 4 nights a week, isn't it? And 5 episodes. And I think if you do that, then you're entitled to call the guy Jack. Even me is entitled to call somebody by his character name.
And you've got a great character that people loved, and it didn't have a side. I don't think there was ever a point in the show when you were hated, was it?
I don't think so. I know a long time ago, which is this piece of information is in the book, that I was working in a social club in Earlham, I think it was. And on the Saturday and on the Friday, in the programme, Jack had pinched some money out of Vera's pocket in the pub. And he'd run like hell out of it, and she chased him and tried to batter him. And so I'm singing on the stage, and this lady came up and started berating me, beating me with this handbag, shouting, "You thieving swine, you thieving swine." And of course I was saying, "It's only a play, it's only a play." And she didn't believe it, so people out of the committee had to come and take her off the stage, and the band was in hysterics. But I thought, that's strange. I should have recognised then he was going to stay there for a while.
There are very few people who touch our lives day in and day out and have a lifetime of success, which you've had. Congratulations on that. Thanks for the memories for Coronation Street, and thanks for being you, because nobody else could have played Jack Duckworth.
I hope not. With a voice and a bald head.
And your blessed pigeons.
And the pigeons.
There's a lovely clip I like to play from time to time, because you do have a bit of smut and innuendo in the programme, and there's a lovely thing about the pigeons' rings. I like that clip. I play it quite a lot.
Yeah, can you play it for me?
You see, when you've been together for a while, you kind of get attached.
I should hope so.
I have always said, any man that has to look at the ring doesn't know his bird.
What?
The ring on the ankle, the pigeons. See, I know man by sight. Do you think I was talking about?
It doesn't matter.
Thank you so much, Bill Tarmey, for talking to me. It's been an honour and a pleasure meeting you, and thank you again for being you.
Thank you.